start the recording here.
We're back.
Play a little music. And we're back here on the Stogie Geeks Show with another fabulous segment for you. I thought I'd, since I really didn't do a whole lot of smoking due to travel and whatnot, I thought I'd go through my 5 tips for purchasing cigars online. Now, those of you that have been listening to the show from the beginning might know, and even from the name, gather that Tim and I certainly are geeks, and I was very early on the purchasing things online. It's actually kind of funny when like buying your Christmas gifts online was like a big thing. We got interviewed by news anchor that was at the mall asking about online shopping, and the fact that I had done half of my online shopping online was good back then, right? That was a lot back then. Now I do pretty much all of my shopping, Christmas or not, I do online. And I think a lot of that stems from, again, Tim and I being computer people. I also sit at my computer all day. Like, that's my job, is to sit, for better or for worse, right? That's the career I chose, so it forces me to be in front of my computer all day. So being able to shop without having to leave your office is great. I think people that are traveling, driving around doing sales, for example, are out in, and do more shopping in the real world versus the online world. But, a lot of us geeks, I mean, if the list of things that we bought online is just unbelievable. You can buy a part for any appliance in your house online, hands down. Like, you could rebuild your washing machine with a website online. And then find multiple videos of how to install it online. It's amazing.
My shipping and receiving person at work hates me. So
yeah. So when I got into cigars, of course, I looked into online. Now, I will end this segment on a great way, because you should support your local B&M. And I will end this segment. We talked a little bit about it before the show. And a great way to use your local B&M to kind of where they shine in purchasing cigars over online purchases. So, having said that, one of the first thing that when you look online is you see a lot of sample packs. And I think my general advice is for people to avoid sample packs. And there's an unless in there. Now, sample packs typically contain anywhere from 5 to 20 cigars. Now, from the surface, are priced at a steep discount. And they won't be shy about saying there's 20, 30, 40, 50% savings when you buy this sample pack. Keep in mind, though, they're basing that on MSRP. And this is the first lesson you need to learn when you're shopping online, is that MSRP is just that. It's a suggested price by the manufacturer. Typically, sticks sold online, especially the ones sold exclusively online or made specifically for online retailers, are sold for much less than MSRP. So when you do the math, you want to add up the prices that you would pay if you bought each stick online at the going rate, right? Think of things as going rate rather than MSRP. See if you're actually getting a deal, first and foremost, on that sample pack. Also, the second and very important thing, make sure that you like all, and that's in capital letters, all of the cigars in the sample pack. Typically, retailers will include some cigars that are, they're okay, they're good, and some that, maybe they're trying to get rid of because they're subpar or they really suck. So a lot of times you'll see the sample pack and like, wow, I like that one, but what is that one? I've never heard of it, or I had one, I don't like it, and they're trying to bait you in. And basically what you're doing is you're helping them get rid of their inventory that they're not moving with the sample pack. So on a positive note, I do love online, line samplers, where you can buy 1 or 2 or 3 of each size in a particular line in a sample pack. I mean, we talked about that in the last segment, right? This is great because maybe it'll consist of 6 cigars, say, or 5 cigars. So if it's 6, you get maybe 2 of each size, or you get 1 of each size. I know my father, sometimes they're gift sets, but sometimes they're sample sets. My father has one that I purchased to try the different sizes within a particular line. I think is where samplers certainly shine, even better if you can get a discount. And again, some of these may be labeled as gift packs. Padron, certainly infamous. I mean, their gift packs are the best deal going. If you want to try Padron, you can get Natural Maduro. We've talked about it before, 1964, 1926 Anniversario, Padrones and get them in the sample pack. There is a savings there. How much is that savings, Stogie Santa?
It's more than especially with Padrones or your line protected items. It's not going to be a hell of a lot. There's going to be, first of all, you're not going to be paying the sales tax if you're going to go into a B&M, and your cigar tax. What that can be ranging. I use Rhode Island for example. That's a 50 cents a stick, or you go to New York. It's a 75% savings on a stick. So depending on the region, that's where your savings are. That's what's going to happen to your Padrones, to your My Father, LFD, your Ashtons, even your Pete. It's basically your savings on your state tax and your cigar taxing.
Yeah.
And that's where a CRA comes in. I got to throw that in again. That really helpful.
Yeah. Now, kind of along those lines, my thing when you're ordering online is that shipping should be free. I mean, sure, you're saving on the tax, but don't forget, if you're going to supplement shipping charges for tax, it's not that much more of a savings. In fact, sometimes you might be, if you're buying just a 5-pack, you might be better off
unless
going.
you're in New York or Massachusetts.
Right. Yeah, well, even still, you sometimes might do the math, right, of the going rate. You might be better off going to your local B&M. Maybe they're a huge insert brand here shop. They can offer it at a lower price, and maybe it's the same price or cheaper getting it from your local B&M.
Right.
The nice part about your local B&M is they can give you instant feedback.
Right.
And they get to know your palate and things like that. But when you're ordering online,
your free sticks too. So.
yeah, and sometimes they throw in free sticks if you local B&M really likes you.
Yeah.
And then I just got attacked by bugs. See that? The most major online retailers will offer free shipping. My suggestion is to sign up for their newsletter and check back to the sites often. Use caution, though. Sometimes they limit it to the brands.
Right.
I always try and say, well, they got free shipping. Maybe I'll order like a 5-pack of Davidoff, but that doesn't qualify for free shipping. So sometimes your premium brands and select brands won't qualify for free shipping. So make sure you double check that. Now, Famous Smoke and Cigars International almost always have a list of brands that they ship for free. The other way to get free shipping is to buy one of their daily deals, which I'll talk about in a minute. So at the time of this writing, for example, Cigar.com is offering free shipping on all orders over $125. Right. Not a bad deal. Famous Smoke is offering free shipping on about 100 brands if you go to their section. And Cigars International offers free shipping with their Joe Cigar Daily Deal. So how do the daily deals work? All 3 major sites that I just talked about, and possibly others, offer this daily deal. Basically, here's how it works. For a limited time, a deal goes up on the website for a reduced price sampler or 5 or 10-pack of cigars. And that deal's up there for a limited time. In other words, the retailer may say, we have 20 of these sets that we're going to put up there. When we sell the 20th one, we're switching to the next deal. So they might be taking a loss. They might be selling at cost. They might be making a little bit of money on them, but they're giving you free shipping if you order that. So what I tend to do is, if there's an online retailer that has this cigar that I really want, that my local B&M doesn't carry maybe, and they've got a pretty good deal on it, I'll put that in my cart, and maybe I'll find a daily deal of some cigars I want to try, and I'll get free shipping on that. If I'm going to place an order anyway, rather than pay $6 or $10 shipping, maybe I'll spend $30 on a 5-pack of cigars that I want to try, pay free shipping. Now I'm putting my money towards the product rather than just the cost of them shipping to me. So there's Joe's Jambalaya, which is Cigars International. There's Cigar Monster, which is Famous Smoke, and Cigar Sprint Sale, which is Cigars.com. So a lot of the sticks are selling on there now. I'm kind of like not very excited about. But if you do have the time to watch it, I have spent some time watching them. You can find some pretty fabulous smokes that come up on these sales every now and again. So it's something to check out if you're looking to fill up your humidor. I'm actually looking to smoke through what's more in my humidor than look for deals online in this way. Because, you can accumulate a good amount of smokes for a reasonable price if you're using these deals. And it's not going to be anything rare. Well, sometimes it is rare or limited, but not very often. More often than not, it's their regular brands, which they're moving hundreds of thousands of sticks of.
Whatever's closing out, they'll do.
Yep, exactly. But sometimes what they're closing out might be good.
What you want. Right.
So speaking of rare and limited, you can find most major brands online and pick up deals here and there. But online cigar shopping can be very useful to find those rare and hard to find smokes. Maybe your local B&M is out. Maybe they don't carry that particular brand, but you want the next rare and latest thing that's coming out. In this case, you have to act fast. Typically, online retailers will get shipments of different rare and limited smokes. I think they take care of their buddies first. Whatever they have left, they're going to put up online, and you've got to act fast because they're going to go.
And sometimes on a rare limited, you're going to pay a little extra.
Yeah, you're going to pay likely a premium, likely MSRP or greater. When we're talking of Opus X, you're going to probably pay a lot more than MSRP to get these. But I used to use a website called fullerspullers.com.
That used to be great.
That was great. That was a great site. They don't sell cigars online anymore. However, recently I've ordered from Smoke Inn. I got some Davidoff Colorado Claros and some rare Opus from Corona Cigar, which really worked out for me as well. So I know, Mark, you've used Atlantic Cigar. They've had some rare limited stuff that comes up, and you really have to kind of hunt and look for it, right?
Yeah. Yep. I get their newsletter, like you said, and they send out weekly deals and things like that. And usually those weekly deals are fairly cool stuff. But they don't last long when they send them out to every single person on their newsletter.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to buy them.
Typically, when you look at them and you think about it, you're like, oh, well, maybe I'll check back tomorrow, do my budget. They're
You've
gone.
already waited
Yeah,
too
they're
long.
gone.
Yeah.
Another great site is Towers. Mark owns that. He's out based in California. And the more you buy, and what's happening is that fine and rare cigars, once he sees what you're ordering, you get on that list. You know, you're going to get on there. You're going to get an early email as opposed to someone that's buying a 5-pack every 6 months.
And like Atlantic and some
I
other
get that
ones.
with Atlantic because in the beginning,
You
when
can,
I first moved to Rhode Island, I didn't know about the places we go.
Yeah.
So I
you can
was
subscribe
buying
to
a lot
that
off
sometimes too.
Atlantic.com.
Yeah. It usually costs $50 a year, and you could subscribe to their early release.
Right.
We just lost Tim.
Uh-oh. That's not
Oh, wait,
good.
he's coming back on. Let's see if we can
We
get him.
cannot lose
The
time.
person whom you're trying
Nope,
to reach
he's
is
not there.
currently unavailable.
That cigar must have got
Please leave a
real woody.
message
He's-
after
He's been
the-
replaced by a British lady.
We can change that.
Yeah, very nice. So yeah, sometimes rare and limited is a good thing. Another thing to keep in mind is that it's not always a bargain, right? So I read a lot of the flyers that came out from major online retailers, just to keep up on what's being offered. Maybe jump on a deal or two. Famous Smoke, Cigars International, and Thompson all send me catalogs on a regular basis. And I mean, let's face it, this makes you get your cigar goggles on. Very nice, very nice. It's like beer goggles. Yeah.
I'm always thinking safety.
That's right. Safety first. So, I mean, they make great bathroom reading. I mean, what's better? You sit in the
It's
bathroom
true.
doing your thing, and you're flipping through, seeing what's out there, how much people are charging, what maybe some of the new releases are. It can be kind of fun. But there's a lot of different smokes in those catalogs at sharply different prices. So you'll see from the highest quality Davidoff cigars that are $18 or more a cigar to bundles that when all is said and done, you get free shipping and you order 2 bundles, you're paying $1 or less per cigar. Now, the kicker for me is that the finest Davidoffs to the 2 for bundles have equally the same fabulous descriptions. That the cigar is absolutely awesome,
yeah.
the best thing you'll ever smoked. It's got earth and cedar and mild and smooth flavors, and it's awesome. And you tend to kind of wonder, like, one, who writes this crap, right? That's and number 2, who smokes all these cigars to be able to write them up like this? Like, you mean to tell me that
They don't smoke.
the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of cigars that are funneling through these online retailers that are writing these descriptions, they're smoking every single one of them and giving a fair and honest review? You'd have to have a staff of 100 people just smoking all day long and writing reviews. So I find it hard to believe that it's an honest write-up.
It makes you think they're cutting and pasting.
and
from
that's
their,
again. I guess it's just me being me, Stogie Santa, working at a B&M. That's where you can get an honest opinion. Whereas it's a choice of preference.
Yeah, the B&Ms will typically, if they work in there, they're going to tell you. I mean, they're going to, if it's a good brick and mortar store, they're going to ask you, well, what do you like to smoke? And they're going to make recommendations. I mean, Stogie Santa did it the first day I met him, right? I walked in, I said, I kind of like to smoke this. And he's like, well, have you tried this, this, and this? And then you start to develop a relationship, and, here's Tim here.
Well, just come down and see me. That's all.
Yeah, come down and see Stogie Santa. Mr. Tim, are you there?
I'm back.
All
Excellent.
right.
We're not seeing your video, but we'll let you.
You got a perfect face for the radio anyway.
That's right. We'll let you work on. We'll let you work on that. I
Nobody
see
wants
the
to see me anyways.
I'm
man.
right there with you, Tim.
the stock blue Skype image.
I'm not sure why I drop after an hour and a half on every single show, but whatever.
Video
I'm
killed the
back,
radio
so.
star.
We'll talk about your
Technology.
We'll talk about your. Is it an access point you're using, Tim, or wireless?
I'm just wireless, yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk after.
Okay.
So, my question for everyone here on Stogie Geeks is, along these lines, how the heck can you sell a cigar for $1 or less that it maybe comes in a bundle but still has a band on it? How can you sell them for $1 and be making any kind of profit? Or are they not making profit?
Volume. That's what's
So
going
it's
to
If you make 2 cents on selling 500,000 cigars, it's
right. Well, again, like we'll go back. Depending on you're not. Do you see that in your big brands? No. Yeah, I think you kind of answer your question in the beginning of our conversation. Providing what it is, you don't do that with Davidoff. You don't do that with Padron. You just don't do it. So,
But does the tobacco come from?
some of them are
these-
seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to talk about seconds in the next
Say,
one.
is the manufacturer desperate for money at that point?
Oh, aren't we all? And I'm trying to be wise about that comment, but what they're going to do is, again, you get a B&M. I have a restricted budget. My boss puts me on a budget, and you live by a budget. But when you get Atlantic, Tower, et cetera, well, it's like a used car dealer. You got 30 days. You got this expense that okay. After 30 days, you're losing money. Out it goes. So it gets deeply discounted.
No, the person that's going to buy the 2 bundles, 50 cigars, they're $1 a piece. Is there a recommendation for that person, Stogie Santa, to get them maybe a little higher quality cigar at a similar price, and maybe they smoke 25% less?
Oh, I smoke best.
Yeah.
Smoke less the best. That's what I. That's,
So what do you
I
say
would.
to someone that comes in and says, I basically want to buy a bundle, I want to pay $1 a cigar?
Well,
And if they ask you, what if they were to ask you, is there a way where I can do a little better? I mean, they probably don't ask you, but what if
They do. What I try to say is this: you again, whether you're not going to put a person who smokes a $2 stick into an $8 stick, you're not going to do it. But you maybe talk to someone into a 2 to a 4, and they say, "Is it what's the difference between a 2 and a 4?" There is some difference.
Construction, certainly. I think you're going to get more out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So what do you put someone in? So if someone comes in looking for in the $4 range, let's say,
Yeah.
what kind of stick you putting those people in?
The $4 stick, you're gonna, depending if it's a mild cigar, you're gonna put them in the Fonsecas,
Yeah.
the La Fontanas, things like that. It's a Camacho product. And then what I try to do once they get in that $4, you just spend the 75 cents more, and you're smoking a Padron. How can you go wrong?
Yeah,
The
they're
Padrones,
2,000.
LFDs. I mean, you're looking at $4.75 a stick on a Padron.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And you look at some of your LFDs. Your LFDs are at $6. So once they gain that trust, and you know what they're smoking, if someone's smoking a mild cigar, Ashton, whatever, etc., you're not going to put them into an Oscuro. It's just not going to happen because that's not their taste preference. So you got to know that palate. And that's where you got to be careful to go back to what you said again, and not to be redundant. I'm all set right this moment.
Sure.
But thank you.
Oh, you got more.
I have the.
You filled up again.
I'm talking too much. That's probably why. But to get back to your point,
Oh, man, it's all good stuff.
Yeah, you have to know, or yourself. Not only I look at the consumer, but yourself. Don't buy something on a sampler. If you look at something at 25 cigars for $18, there's a reason behind it. The reason is the cigars aren't that good.
Yeah.
You're going to get 2 of them that you're going to enjoy. So be picky. Even if it's a $3 cigar, be picky at your $3 cigar. That's what you really like. Stick with it.
And I mean, there's nothing wrong with a bundled cigar.
Yes, there is.
Okay.
I'm sorry. They're in a bundle for a purpose.
Yeah.
They really are. They're lower priming cigars.
Yeah.
You'll see sunspots on them. You see different little.
Now, does sunspots and discolorations in the wrapper affect flavor?
Sunspots, no. Discoloration can be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So now, the last thing I had here was it's probably too good to be true. And I wanted to throw some more things out there and talk about some different aspects. So let's talk seconds. There's always seems to be this endless supply of seconds on the market. And I never find, at least in the B&Ms I've visited, I never find seconds at a local B&M.
No.
I only find seconds online. And the way they spin seconds was, well, they have some slight discolorations and they just weren't quite the perfectly constructed cigars.
Right,
So
they're
they
not
end up
little-
in this seconds bin. And but there's always, if that was the case, why would there always be this endless supply of seconds? You would think that if it's just the ones that didn't pass quality inspection, there'd be a limited supply of them in any given line. And the online retailers, you see seconds that exist for years and years and years.
That way, then your B&M doesn't get as mad. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So they're saying we're selling to CI, whoever, et cetera, famous smoke shop, and they're discounted at let's say, a $5 cigar is now at $2. Why is that? That would make me want to know.
Right.
So they're smart. They'll turn around and say these are seconds.
But I'm going to throw a hypothesis out there. So I don't think there really are seconds. I think they're slightly different tobacco produced maybe from a different part of the plant or different portion of the farm that maybe on a regular basis they're calling seconds, and it's a tweak on the blend to use up some tobacco that they maybe aren't using, but they're calling them seconds because they're close enough to the original where they might be able to get away with that to someone who's not, doesn't have a palate and can't tell the difference.
I don't know, man. That unbanded you gave me, that was a second. Yeah, that was not good.
Another thing, what they do, they love using. You ever see the word segundo?
No, what is that?
Seconds. So it sounds pretty. Segundo, yeah, segundo. I'm smoking a segundo. You're smoking a second. So again, it is. I mean, if I went down to the what's that down there? The CI. When
they got their thing in Pennsylvania.
And here I am. I work at a B&M and I enjoy it. I went down there because I've got to see what's going on, and that's what they do. If you go down to something like that, and again, go down by all means. But what people are looking at. It's not a quality. They walk out of there with 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 cigars that I gave away to the troops at the end of the day because I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal. There's nothing there I want to smoke. So it costs you $100-something for the ticket, and I'm not knocking the format because I'm making huge money. But for $150, your motel, your travel, whatever, go online, like you're saying, Paul's saying, or go to your B&M, and you're going to get a better quality cigar at a cheaper price.
Now, what about closeouts? I've seen some of the things, and I think I've jumped on them in the past. A lot of online retailers will do closeouts. They don't list it as seconds. They kind of just, a lot of them will come in, I saw a La Aurora closeout, and it was these, they're Cameroon wrapped La Aurora cigars. They're at a steep discount. They come in the boxes of 5. There might have been a bunch of samples that, never made its way into circulation, and now they're closing them out. To me, that's one of the reasons why I read some of these retailers, because I may buy a few and see what they are,
See what they're offering, because sometimes a closeout is like a
closeout is better than a second.
Oh, absolutely. It's not
clearance.
Moving.
It's
a
clearance sale.
I mean, what we do at the store, the same thing.
And so that's where we're getting to. Where I wanted to close out this segment was before the show, where we talked about closeouts, because you've got some closeouts coming up. You've had many successful closeouts. To me, if you're going to go online and look for deals, you also want to check your local B&M and say, you got any closeouts that are happening now? Or do you have any closeouts coming in the future?
Absolutely.
The beauty of that is that you can say, well, I'm going to buy one of those. I'm going to smoke it and try it. You can even go there the day of the closeout and say, well, they're closing a whole box of those, or, you've got 15, 20 boxes and you're closing these out. I'm going to sit down and relax for an hour or whatever. I'm going to smoke one and see if I like it. And then if you like it, you can buy it.
I just did it.
Yeah.
I just did it.
Well, Stogie Santa takes care of us in that, and a lot of people, if you frequent a B&M, they'll tell you
absolutely.
Hey, we got a sale coming up.
Try this.
They'll give it to you, or you buy it, for a discount. Try it, see if you like it. If you like it, come back when we're doing the sale and buy a whole box.
That's what just happened. There was a closeout on a very popular brand. I hadn't really smoked a lot of those core line products from that specific brand. So, you know what? I think I was given 2 of them. I bought 2 different ones.
Yeah.
Of the 4 that were being closed out. I tried them. I went back and I bought 10 of one and 5 of the other, and at a steeply discounted price. And now I got smokes that I can smoke that I spent $5.50 on, and that were normally,
to me, that's better.
$7.75, $8.
I think you can be more particular about what you're getting. I think you can. I think you get a much better deal going with the local B&M closeout.
Because of B&M,
there's no doubt about it.
There's no I realize that even yourself, Mark and Paul, you go to different B&Ms, and the bottom line is you got to be advantageous. And the B&M can't sit there and say, "Come to us," and that's all you're going to do, and you have high prices. You got to be aggressive with the situation, and there's nothing better. And I really mean this. It's an educated cigar smoker. They're going to not dictate, but they're going to let you know what's going to be on closeout, what's not, by saying, I'm not going to pay $8, $7, whatever it is.
Stogie saying, why do local B&Ms run the closeouts? Because I think, the online retailers will do seconds, I think, because they're looking at volume, they're looking at turning a profit, they're looking at, I think, using the name of the name brand cigar to sell the second, which they're turning maybe a smaller profit on, but it's going to be a higher margin.
Right.
And I think those motives are they're funny to me. But when a local B&M does a closeout, well, how is that different?
Because again, you look at something like this, given an idea, our store, August, and I know it's down the road, but we're looking at what moves within 2 months. Personally, I can see what's going to move and what's not.
Yeah.
So what good is it having cigars that are not selling, sitting there taking up space, that you come in, Mark, or anybody else that comes in, they're going to look at that cigar. It's been there. No,
it's been there a while.
There's a reason.
The reviews are okay. Maybe I smoked it was all right.
You listen to this.
Yeah.
You listen to Stogie Geeks talking about new stuff.
Right.
What is old, what is new becomes old very quickly.
But
Yes.
then you knock 40% off that price, and you think about.
See you later.
We know cigars that have been sitting around have a little age on them.
You got it.
So you say, well, they're closing them out. You look at you can a lot of times look at the box date and say these cigars are 2, 3, 4 more years old. I'm getting them at 40%. I'll buy a box, or even if it's a 3/4 or whatever's left in the box is like what's closing out. I'll buy the rest of them, stick them in my humidor, and they're great smokes.
And on another
And I've done that time and time again with
right.
the closeouts.
And whatever the cigar, sometimes with the closeouts, not only does it help the local B&M or online, you grab whatever the cigar is on that discount, and you're saying, wow, I never had this line before. So when something new comes out, they're going to say, I want to try that, because I remember, even though it was a closeout, I enjoyed that cigar.
Yeah.
So it's a marketing, I don't want to say
It helps.
ploy.
It helps out the
everybody.
manufacturers. Yeah,
It helps out the
that's a good
B&M. It
point.
helps out the manufacturer.
That's a good point.
It's a win-win-win situation for everybody.
I agree. I have a lot of retail experience, not in the cigar industry, but in general. And if stuff isn't moving, it's not helping you. You know, it doesn't help to wait for that person that's going to come through and buy it when you can just mark it down and get rid of it today.
Yeah.
You know, and then just refresh the inventory.
Oh,
and then you have the inventory dollars to spend on new stuff and get new stuff in there and keep your regulars excited.
Right. And you get just like with Tim. Tim will come into the store during our closeouts, even though they're 40. I've seen Tim look at the cigar, know it's 40% off, and still won't buy it, because he's not. Even though the cigar may be at $4, he knows he can turn around and get something at $5.50. Enjoy that. So that money that you can put, you got to be careful what you're saving and what you want. So that's a double-edged sword. So be really careful for listeners out there. Just because a cigar is $4, don't always jump on it either. Be careful. Sometimes it's cheap for a reason.
Yeah. Tim, what do
I'm
you
gonna
wait?
say,
I want to hear your thoughts on the points we've talked about with online shopping. See if you had anything to add to that, and then get your take on closeouts as well.
Yeah, man. I mean, you got to buy what you enjoy. It doesn't matter how inexpensive it is. Like, like Stogie Santa just said, a $4 cigar that was usually $8 that you don't enjoy, why spend the money? I'd rather spend $6 on something that I enjoy every single day.
Absolutely.
That's just my personal belief. I mean, I have a very limited budget. I'm very particular. I know what I enjoy. I try new sticks on a regular basis, but I'm not going to buy something I know that I'm not going to enjoy just because it's on closeout. So.
Yeah. Now, Tim, do you have any further tips for our listeners on online purchasing? I know you do a lot of online purchasing as well.
Yeah, definitely check the auction sites.
Yeah, I want to do a separate
point. I was
section on
gonna say
auctions.
that as
Yeah,
well.
let's touch upon it a little bit here. So what's different about the auctions?
I mean, you can definitely get things like the La Aurora that I mentioned earlier on a deep discount, which is a good solid smoke. I just don't think it's worth $18, but at $7 a stick, a damn fine smoke, you know?
Absolutely.
And that's the type of thing. I mean, if you have a specific stick that you're looking for that you enjoy, check the auction sites, because you can often find them at 50 to 60% off MSRP, and it's worth the look.
Now,
I did that this year with the Opus X Lost Cities that the cigar auctioneer had on there, and I was able. I mean, they're really expensive cigars, and I don't think any cigar is worth $30 a piece. I really don't think that there's really too much out there that I would spend $30 on, but they fell down to the $20 range, and I bought 6 of them.
and that's where I got to ask Tim how you feel about this. when you see these cigars, may it be whoever deeply discounts it, and when it gets down to that cigar bid or whoever, and they deeply discount, now they come out with a new product, and here they are, they're back up there again. Why even buy them when they're there? And I think they lose the core base of a cigar smoker by doing that. I think it's a bad marketing way of doing things, getting an expensive cigar that doesn't sell, then they deeply discount. I think it hurts that manufacturer. Do you agree with that, Tim?
Yeah, generally speaking. I mean, look at Padilla. I love Padilla smokes. They make some good quality smokes, but I mean, they've been pimped out online.
Yeah, and I think
that decreases the perception of the product as a whole.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're good smokes. I mean, I pay $10, $12 a stick, but I know I can get them for $6 online. So,
Why would you?
yeah, why would I? I mean,
well, I think it's a good point, and I think we go back to the going rate. Whether you're buying on a closeout at a local B&M, whether you're buying online, whether you're buying on an auction, or whether you're buying at an event where they're offering a discount, it's important to do the math and compare that with what the going rate is. And it's not MSRP. The going rate is what you could purchase them at, whether it's at a local B&M with your local taxes included, or whether it's at an online retailer for whatever they're selling it at with free shipping. You have to do the math at the going rate. And I've gotten burned on auction, at local events, and on online retailers because I didn't compare with the going rate. And you learn from my experiences, always compare with the going rate.
and I'm going to just add in on the auctions, be careful, because some of the hard-to-find sticks, Paul is correct. I mean, you might pay more than what you could just get them online just because of what they are and how difficult they are to get.
People get carried away in the auction thing, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I learned my lesson the hard way on eBay a long time ago, that if something's 2 days out, don't bid on it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, wait till the last 10 minutes and then bid on it. See if it's in the appropriate price range and then bid on it.
Right.
I mean,
now, having said that, I've got some fantastic deals from online auctions.
Of course you have.
Yeah.
And
But you have to be smart.
You have to be smart.
And we're going to do a whole segment on.
And again, we're going back to the educated cigar smoker or educated, any kind of consumer buying online is being educated. So if that happens to go out at a price that you don't want it, you're not at a loss. Someone else has overpaid for it.
Tim, how is your Molotov finishing off for you?
I just nubbed it, man. It was great. I really enjoyed the whole smoke, actually. I enjoyed the upfront strength. I enjoyed the medium body flavors halfway through, and I really enjoyed the smoothness on the last half.
Yeah, I would agree. Smoothness is definitely a characteristic I would use to describe this particular
cigar. Did the opposite of what most cigars do. They end up building in strength. That one.
It is. It's not. Yeah, it's not overpowering at the end.
Yeah.
But what they do, that's just because the way they position the leaf in the cigar. That's what you get it from.
You're right.
I enjoyed it. It was a nice change of pace. Best smoke I had all weekend. So.
Very nice. Tim, you had a diversion of the week in there just to round out the show?
Yeah. I was thinking about adding this on a regular basis, but Nada, a.k.a. Cigar Girl FL, as in Florida, had a really cool Facebook album post this week. Paul, did you have a chance to look at this yet?
I did. It was a lot of pictures of her at tobacco farms in Honduras, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, specifically the Esteli Perdomo factory in Nicaragua. She posted up 30 or 40 pictures of her tour of the factory. Really cool stuff. I recommend checking it out. I'll put it up in the show notes. Some great descriptions of what each picture is and what's happening there as far as the handling of the tobacco, the aging of the tobacco, the making of the boxes. Really cool stuff. So
now, since we're having so much fun here, and I don't want the show to end, I'm going to talk about cedar spills. This is I know a lot of people typically take the cedar that comes lined in the boxes to separate the different rows of cigars, and they'll break some off and they'll use that to light the cigar. Now, Tim, I think one of the first times you and I shared a cigar together, that's how they lit them at the cigar lounge we went to in New York City.
Yep.
There was a bit, piece of cedar, and they lit the end of it, and that's how you light your cigar. You get a little bit of that cedar flavor when you light the cigar. So there's a company called cedarspills.com. They've been featured on a lot of blogs and other podcasts, and I got a couple of them sent to me free with my order from Smoke Inn, actually. And I used it last night to light a couple cigars, and it was fun. It's different. I think it's something, you kind of do as a party trick for your friends, maybe. I don't know how practical it is, but It is kind of a fun thing to do as part of the hobby. So I've got one right here. I'm holding up for the camera, and it's just really a piece of cedar, and you light the end of it and use that to light your cigar. So my my after show cigar that we'll share here amongst friends, where we have the after party, as it were. I'll use that to light my cigar and be fun
For our
times.
inebriated friends, we have to take the cedar out of the tube first.
Yes, it definitely has to come out of this plastic tube. Thank you, Stogie.
Now, Paul, I have a feeling
Pointing that out.
Paul, the Carnegie Club in New York.
It was the Carnegie Club, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I
Doing that.
think it was a little bit more special when the waitress leaned over
Yes,
to do that for us.
it was.
I'm just
I
saying.
would agree with you there.
I gladly paid the $150.
One of
for
the best
those,
things about cigar
cigars and
lounges
two
is the
scotches that
talent.
night. So,
One of the best things about cigar lounges is the talent that they employ.
Yes.
oh yes,
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, thanks, everyone, for listening to the Stogie Geeks show. We're going to sign off on this episode and see everyone when we do this wonderful recording again. Again, you can get all of the audio and video for this show on our website, stogiegeeks.com. Thanks, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
That's what we gotta figure out what we can do. I go down to Orlando, so I can get people online. Just thought of that. That'd be a blast.
Hour and 32 minutes.
Oh, that's good.
Nice, nicely done.
I need the lighter.
That guy that they have in there on the weekends down there doesn't know much about cigars. Huh?
That's what I was trying to tell Paul about the weekend. The weekend is huge, and the fact that you set up a lot of people to come in, and like all I hear is that from the girls is that they come in to see you. I just tell them on the weekends. The weekend is we're losing so much money. It's useless.
I don't ever go in on the weekend because you're not there. I just went in because I didn't want all the ones that I wanted to be gone. You know what I mean? So
I don't send anybody to you, Mark, on the weekend because I know you're not going to be there. So
does he just pay minimum wage for that Sunday shift?
It's not that. It's not even minimum wage. It's just they don't want to pay. Period. Like Sundays is a huge day. He puts the girls behind it. And I'm not going to work on Sunday. I tell them to never work Sunday. I'm just not doing it.
There's a lot of fire that happens with the cedar, and it makes kind of a mess. And you can reuse the
But
spills
it
too.
smells good.
Well, it smells nice. It gives a nice little flavor. So
It is.
I'm going to have
It's
to
a
check
nice-
those out next time I come down, man.
yeah,
They'll-
cedar
they'll be on
spills.
close out soon.